everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to change that raggedy old seat cover of yours that's on your clapped out 1998 RM125 or CR250 or whatever clapped out seat cover you got. No, I'm just playing. I'm just going to be showing you guys how to change your actual seat cover on your dirt bike. It's a super simple job, and instead of sending it out to someone who does this all the time, which always support them if you can, but if you are a DIYer and someone that, you know, just wants to be hands-on and be a part of your builds, then this video might be for you. Before we jump into changing the actual seat cover and showing you all the tools and all that, I kind of want to address some things first. Now, I know there really isn't a wrong way to do this, but you can also mess this up. You can mess up your seat, you can mess up your seat cover, as well as, you know, the foam if you're not 100% careful. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that my way is the best way to do it or someone else's way is the best way to do it. I honestly personally suggest watching a few other videos if you're trying to attempt this yourself to kind of form your own way of installing the seat cover, because what works for me might not work for you, and, you know, might not work for the next guy. So kind of go ahead, and what I suggest is actually watching a few of these videos to get the idea. But let's go ahead and show you some of the tools that you're going to need. All right, so starting off, you're going to need, you know, maybe a T-handle. You know, you could use a ratchet, whatever. I'm just using this nice Motion Pro spinny T-handle thing and a 10mm socket. Next thing that you're going to need is a staple gun. And I honestly 100% recommend the Air ones from Harbor Freight. They work super well. They have this little lip right here, so that way you can kind of get into some of the crevices on the seat, because with the handheld one, I actually don't think I have one, but the handheld one, you know, they're kind of flat and you can't get in there, and you're not gonna be able to staple it. So 100% recommend the Central Pneumatic one from Harbor Freight. It's a really good staple gun, and I have had no problems with it, and I've installed dozens of seat covers with it. Next thing that you need is some staples. I just went down to Home Depot and picked up the 1/4-inch staples. You know, you don't want the super long ones to where like they go in your foam and then you can feel them when you're sitting on the bike and whatnot. Next thing you're gonna need is your oh so fabulous seat cover, which I'm using the Thrill Seekers one. I personally like the Thrill Seekers the best. You know, you guys might like Guts or something else, whatever works for you. It's all the same concept. Next thing you're gonna need are some flathead screwdrivers. I got a bigger one and kind of a smaller one to get in there. We also got my pocket screwdriver, as well as a set of needle nose and just some pliers, so that way I can pull the staples out. Now, you don't need this if you're gonna go ahead and install the seat cover over the old seat cover, but for me, I'm taking the old seat cover off. Or let's go ahead and get the seat off the bike and start getting into this. All right, so we got the seat removed, and let's go ahead and start getting these staples out and get this stock seat cover removed. So we got the factory seat cover off. It does have a little bit of glue to hold it down, but that doesn't really matter. Right now, we're just going to flip it over, and look at that clean foam. God, I love working with clean foam. Thing looks sick how it is. All right, anyways, we're going to go ahead and lay out our Thrill Seeker seat cover. Whew. Love unpackaging the Thrill Seeker seat cover. Got some new stickers. Got a thank you note. But, whew, black on black. Kind of going for that little bit of a factory look. Go ahead and lay that down, clean up my surface real quick. So let's go ahead and show you how I do this. So I pretty much start by kind of just opening everything up, laying it flat on the seat, make sure that it fits, you know, pretty good. Now it looks like everything seems to be in order. Now I learned this from, I forgot who I learned this from, but I learned to kind of flip this outside, flip the front part inside out, and then I'll lay it down and make sure that this little seam right here under the seat. I don't put it on that way. It might be easier for you guys to do it that way and kind of flip it around, but I'm used to doing it this way. And then I'll go ahead and check under it. Now I have it kind of laid on there, just kind of, not really tight or any of that. You know, I want to have a little bit of tension, but not so much tension, especially on like the older bikes. Like I know people who do a ton of tension, they flex it and it don't sit right, it don't look right. You know, I try to line everything up right here so that way it's all lined up. You know, I'll do a ton of looking. We got to pull it over to the right. But I want to try to center it as best as I can. See how it looks a little bit more centered? That's good right there. So what I'll go ahead and end up doing is kind of pulling a little bit of tension right there. I need to learn how to plug my air hose in. All right, so I got to go back and do this again. Make sure everything's all lined up. All right, so I just want enough tension so that way it's kind of bouncy. Like there's a little bit of play. So I like to start the staple from the back. I'll do one staple on the back, one staple up top, and kind of work my way around. Now, I like to double check, make sure everything's lined up, which it seems to be lined up. And then I'll go ahead and start trying to pull tension from both sides. Now, I like to kind of set everything diagonal from each other. You can kind of see how everything, I'll start like trying to pull everything tight. I don't know, I do this a weird way. Now, if you ever make a mistake and something happens, you can always take the staples out. That's why I only do minimal staples as I can, just in case I make a mistake and it's not, you know, sitting right or it's not tight enough for my liking. Now I'm gonna go ahead and finish tightening everything up and we'll come back and I'll just show you how I do this. Now the back right here is probably where you guys are gonna have the most trouble, but in a sense, like you could just fold it over like that and just staple it real good. Now I'm gonna finish tightening this all up and then I'll show you the final result. Now one thing I want to note is I try to keep them, you know, spaced pretty good throughout. This one I might throw an extra one right here and an extra one right here since they're kind of diagonal. Now certain ones like these might be sticking up. I'll just pull them out and redo them, so no big deal. But I'll throw another staple right here and we'll go ahead and get that all finished. So here's the final result. As you can see, got it all stapled up. I know a lot of people like to trim the excess stuff right here, which I'm actually going to do. Some of the excess stuff, you know, maybe in the back I might leave it, not sure, but I'm gonna go ahead and trim up here so that way nothing gets stuck or any of that, and go ahead and throw this back on the bike. All right, so I just removed a little bit here and there, trimmed a little bit back here, and then we trimmed up here. I might throw a little staple right here so that way I could hold this down. That way it doesn't get caught when we're moving the seat. So we got this thing all set up on the bike and it's looking clean. Thrill Seekers absolutely does an amazing job with their seat covers. They grip, they actually grip. Now usually I'd use the knee brace things that they do right here, but we switched to the Travis Pastrana knee pads to give those a try for a little bit. So that's why I went without it this time, but it's looking sick. See, everything's all straight. Kind of matches up with the lines right here, and it kind of goes into that, which looks pretty sick. can't wait to tell you guys about this build, which will be in the next video. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, give the video a thumbs up. As always, like, comment, subscribe. I can't wait to tell you on the next video, which we're gonna be talking about the 110 update, as well as the 250 build that we're gonna be doing. I'm gonna go over some of the things that we're gonna be doing and hopefully get onto that. We'll see you next Monday.